After leaving Custer State Park in the Black Hills in South Dakota, our journey continued west to the Grand Teton National Park. We traveled US 16 to Wyoming 450 and Wyoming 387. The 165-mile drive from Newcastle, Wyoming to Casper, Wyoming had to be one of the most desolate and uninhabited stretches of land we have ever seen and driven, especially Wyoming 450. And we also drove most of the day through low gray clouds and rain. No other cars, very few farmhouses, and even cattle sightings were rare. But we did arrive safely late afternoon at the Casper KOA for an overnight stay. The next morning we got up to finish our drive to the Tetons. With sun and blue skies, the drive west was much more interesting and beautiful as the terrain changed and the mountains began to appear on the horizon. We drove along the Wind River for over 60 miles through the Wind River Reservation as we approached Du Bois, Wyoming. Then a drive into the mountains through the Glacier Teton National Forest, arriving at Signal Mountain in the Tetons in mid-June. At Signal Mountain, we had a great campsite where we stayed 7 days. The campground was right on Jackson Lake. We had an easy walk to the lodge and restaurant. We even had a resident elk named Hollywood who visited almost daily in the campground. Sue, Cassie, and I enjoyed relaxing on the rock and pebble beach with an amazing view of the Tetons right across the lake. Good, how are you doing? Weren't you showing off bear fur here?
Yep, we're showing people the difference between a grizzly bear and a black bear.
Okay.
And it's easier to touch them here than it is in the wild.
We don't want to touch them in the wild.
See how nice and
soft? Oh, it's softer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, the grizzly's a little closer.
Yeah, but look at
It's golden beautiful.
You can go from gold to blonde, actually. And this doggy.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the black bear.
on a day promising sun and blue skies, we left Signal Mountain in the morning to explore the northern part of the park, where Sue could take some photos while we explored the history of the Tetons. Within a mile or so of the campground, our first photo stop was a simple pull-out on the Teton Park Road. From there, we headed to Oxbow Bend, one of the most popular overlooks for photographers. We had a great view of Mount Moran reflecting on the surface of the Snake River. Sue captured some great photos with the morning sun still rising. At Colter Bay, we stopped for some shopping and walked to the bay where boats and yachts are backdropped by the Tetons. At the Jackson Lake Lodge, we visited the historic lodge and walked the grounds, including a short hike on Lunch Tree Hill. It is during this hike that we learned of the relationship between Horace Albright, the first superintendent of Yellowstone, and John D. Rockefeller Jr. Albright drove Rockefeller and his family to the Teton country from Yellowstone. They picnicked on the hill now known as Lunch Tree Hill. Rockefeller and his wife loved this land and wanted to preserve it. They purchased the entire valley and eventually turned it over to the government to turn Albright's dream into reality. The Grand Teton National Park was born. Our 7 days at Signal Mountain included 4 days of rain, but that didn't stop us from making a trip down to Jenny Lake, one of the most visited areas in the Grand Teton National Park. Tucked away at the base of the Teton Range, the lake is a centerpiece of the park. Although it was overcast the day we visited, the rain held off for the most part, and we even saw some blue sky peeking through by the end of the day. While at Jenny Lake, we hiked the Moose Pond Trail. The easy 2-mile out and back trail follows along the south shore of Jenny Lake. Named because of regular moose sightings in the area, we, of course, did not see the elusive moose. Sue, however, was able to capture some pictures of a ruffed grouse. As we were planning our stay at Signal Mountain, Sue and I were happy to find the lodge offered a Snake River float trip. We hopped in a van at the lodge with the raft in tow and headed to our launching point, Deadman's Bar. This scenic rafting trip glided along a 10-mile stretch of the Snake River in the Grand Teton National Park. During the entire trip, we had a spectacular view of the Teton Range. Our trip ended at Moose Landing, near where the historic Mentor's Ferry operated in the late 1800s. Although it rained quite a bit while staying at Signal Mountain, we relaxed and enjoyed the beauty of the Tetons. It was nice to stay in one place for 7 days for the first time on this long journey. Sue was able to capture some amazing photos. We feel like there is a lot more to see and do in the Tetons, so we will come back again. Next stop, Idaho, to check off one of my bucket list items, to not only see the Salmon River, but to fly fish for the first time in my life.